should we take a look at the ranger?
Yeah, sure. We can
Because
look
there
at
are
it.
a lot of different options for the ranger.
Let's get rid of the wizard and let's pick a ranger.
Goodbye,
Everyone's
ranger.
super excited about the ranger. I have no idea why,
I don't know
but
why. I don't know.
yeah.
Has there been talk about the ranger in the last few years?
No, everyone loves the ranger. Ranger is perfect. And now the ranger just has more options.
A lot
So
more options.
yeah,
So
look at
here we
all
go.
these
This is unlike
options.
Wizard. The Ranger has quite a few more options coming from Tasha's Cauldron of everything.
Yep,
So,
and
so you can
actually,
definitely tailor make your experience when it comes to being a Ranger now.
and I'm gonna do the thing that I said that everybody else should do, which is when you're starting out, go ahead and just have Tasha's open next to you so that you can look at some of the stuff. Because as you'll see, some of these, especially for the ranger, there are so many options because some of them
Mm-hmm.
replaces. So if you turn on Deft Explorer, you're not going to see Natural Explorer anymore. You're going to see these options. And for those of us who've now been playing D&D 5th edition for a very long time, it can be a little jarring to suddenly be like, oh wait, where's my Natural Explorer? Where is that? That's what's going on. So yeah, do you want to talk us through? I'm actually just going to keep the regular character or the book open and talk about some of the features that you are most excited about that are available for rangers.
I haven't actually given it a tremendous amount of thought, but I will say that I do like roving quite a bit for 6th level. I think Canny is more my game in terms of I do play a ranger who's a little bit more a ranger about town. So I would choose Canny at 1st level. I'd probably go for roving at 6th level. Moving down, we've got tireless. The temporary hit points, that's pretty strong. That's pretty good stuff. But what do I have to give up here to take tireless?
Um,
Or
I
does
think
this all scale? So I
tireless.
choose. Okay, so
Let's
let's go ahead
see.
and dig into that. So I take Deft Explorer, and that gave me what?
So Deft Explorer, let's just come back to the top. You are an unsurpassed explorer and survivor, both in the
Okay, so that
wilderness and in dealing with others in your travels. You gain the canny benefit below, so you get canny, and you gain an additional benefit below when you reach 6th and 10th level. So Deft
exactly.
Explorer is the thing. It replaces
So
Natural Explorer, so it replaces a
so
whole bunch of stuff.
this moves along with you if you make that choice.
Yep.
So this affects everything else. So let's go to favored foe instead. Let's take a look at favored foe.
Yep.
And so this is another thing that you can do starting at 1st level. This will replace the foe slayer feature. Let's do that. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Now you're not getting as many options, I think, down that tree, but you can kind of see how this is like customizing your ranger very specifically. The fact that you're given so many options is pretty impressive. And now as we move down, I can do Nature's Veil as well on top of this.
Yep.
And that gives me the hide in plain. Yeah. Okay. I like the hide in plain sight feature personally. I've always enjoyed that. But what Nature's Veil is a little bit different in the fact that you can hide yourself from view. As a bonus action, you can become invisible. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'd rather just say I'm invisible and be done with it.
Yeah.
I think that's really fun. I think that makes a lot of sense for a Horizon Walker, for a Fey Wanderer Ranger, definitely for a Gloomstalker Ranger. Already has invisibility, but now you're doing it whenever you want to. Now you're a nightmare.
And here's one of those and where you can use this feature number times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So
I gotta tell you, you can magically become invisible as a bonus action, equal to your proficiency bonus as a ranger. Is some strong stuff at 10th level.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's what I'm choosing. That's what I'm going with.
No, definitely. If you're looking to be that sneaky ranger, if you're looking to track something,
I love this.
Yeah, it's really strong.
This really helps me in D&D Beyond to actually understand it when I just see these kind of. It reminds me of skill trees in like MMOs, where I can just see all my options, click the boxes. I'm like, that's how I'm spec'd now.
There you go.
I feel like D&D Beyond is providing that kind of, World of Warcraft. or Elder Scrolls Online kind of format for everyone. So
Well, and once again, a lot of this is now going to be bonus stuff. Like, so
yeah,
we've made it into the additional features. So this is stuff that is just going to show up as other
yeah,
options,
uh,
like the other fighting styles. So
yeah.
if you're interested in trying to, doing something a little different as a ranger, now all of a sudden you've got a whole bunch of different fighting styles that you can choose from, that give you
Thrown
different
weapon
ways.
fighting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you now you can do that strength-based ranger at a little bit higher efficiency. I mean, I know they're rare, but I did play originally a strength-based ranger, so thrown weapon fighting is pretty fantastic. I really like blind fighting. That allows you basically never to really be thrown off by invisible people,
Yeah. Be
and be able to
invisible
fight in
and
the dark.
yet. Yeah.
So again a strong choice to make for a ranger as well.
Well,
So
and I actually kind of like Druidic Warrior, mostly because I actually have a ranger in one of my campaigns who has multiclassed into Druid. And so this is a way in where we already know that the archetypical ranger has a lot in common with a Druid. And so being able to do that little tiny dip without going full on multi-class, or without,
mhm.
giving up a feat or something, in order to get that flavor of, I want to be the ranger that's really out in the wilderness, that really is, close to nature, and, has those deep connections. You can go this way and get yourself a couple
Well,
cantrips, get yourself a few options.
and flat out is part of a druid circle. You
Hmm.
know, it is a member of that order. Just they're not druids.
Yeah. uh I'm gonna pause our chat about the ranger here and answer a couple of
How
questions that
how
we have.
dare you?
I know this is what happens when you have me on, is every once in a while I'm like, I have to answer
But
questions
the
from chat.
community.
But the community, Todd, I have to talk about the community. Eldritch DM wants to know if Tasha's is available in the app. Yes, it's available now. If you have the Compendium app that lets you access all of your content, you do have to download it to the device, but you can access it offline. So if you want to be able to read through this in the app offline, yes, you may have to update the app. You may have to update the manifest, and there's some information on how to do that online, and probably in our chat as well. But you should see it, and then you'll be able to download it and read it offline on your mobile device. Um, can we homebrew tattoos? I believe so. I think the only weird thing about tattoos right now is that the rules talk about this. We're getting away from characters, kind of, but we'll
Yeah,
come
a
back to
a
it.
little bit, because we now treat unlike Unearthed Arcana, we treat tattoos like magical items.
Well, and they're 100% magical items. The only thing that you have to remember about them, that we don't currently have a way of tracking in the character sheet, is depending on the rarity of the tattoo, it becomes larger. So I don't remember the
Mm.
specifics, but like the more rare it is, the more real estate on your body it takes up. And so obviously you cannot have two tattoos on top of each other.
We need
So
tattoo encumbrance.
you have to we just trust that you're not going to have two back tattoos. That you're going to work with your DM to make
But
that
Lauren,
work
what if
out.
I have two backs?
Well, listen, if you play a centaur, then you can have four legs to tattoo,
Yeah,
right?
then I can have as many tattoos as I want. So
Well, you can have as many as you have real
I
estate
I have
for.
spoken.
Hey, listen, if your DM allows it, go for
Hey,
it.
you got Dragonborn with wings right now, so you can get those tatted up as much as you want.
Could you imagine how painful that would be, though?
I would never.
Oh,
Yeah, like tattoo. No, that's like
nah.
tattooing the inside the flap
Like,
of skin between your thumb and your finger,
yeah. Ugh. Oh,
but
that'd be
like
the
all
worst.
over.
I mean, depending on what you did, it would look amazing, but
Yeah,
that would be yeah, there'd be Constitution saving throws.
yeah,
So
and
yes.
crying.
A lot of the stuff is home brewable, and you can have a lot of fun with it. I highly suggest we'll talk about the magic items in here some other time. Someone may have Luke McKay already asked about something that came up in a tweet of mine about a specific magic item about teeth. So hey, if you're checking out Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, check out the magic items. Check out the one that has to do with teeth. It's fun.
I don't want to check that out.
Does the fighting, so we got Tumba, does the fighting style versatility allow you to change style while choosing whether to go from the ASI or the feature? Whew, there's a lot there. Okay.
Okay. So let's see.
Fighting style versatility. Ooh, this may be one of those in where I am still learning all of the different fun things that are available. You may have to ask that question on our forums, or come to our Discord, or ask us on Twitter, or maybe someone in chat can answer, because at this very moment, I cannot pull it up. While I look for that, Todd, here's another question specifically for you from chat, from Garderos. How do you feel about the changes to the armorer?
I like the changes to the armor. Actually, I think the armor is extremely strong already. I felt like it was strong in UA. I had a lot of fun playing it. I actually miss it, to be completely honest. If you're wondering in Silver and Steel why I actually moved away from the armor, that was because of actually the sub race I chose at the time from Eberron for a human. I felt it was a little bit look at me. But let's take a look at the armor really, really, really quick.
Sure.
So I can get you the full download. So yeah, obviously gaining any kind of proficiency in heavy armor makes sense. We've got a nice spell selection. I'm very aware that they got rid of shield. I love shield. I like the moment where Iron Man pops out his metal shield and takes the brunt of that magical force from Thanos. But I gotta tell you, I played the armor. I'm already in full plate, and I'm casting shield. It's a kind of a nightmare on top of my Thunder Gauntlets, which are giving me not only forcing disadvantage on people, but also giving me I have this kind of shield bubble that happens around me that gives me temporary hit points. It's very hard to kill an armorer already. So I though I miss shield desperately, there's some sneaky ways to get that back. So that's all I'm saying. I'm like, if you really want it that bad, I'd go for the feat. I'd go for Mage Initiate feat and snag yourself some of that shield action. I don't know if that's specifically what you're trying to call out here, but I love the armor. I like the changes to it. I understand why. They don't break anything about what I liked about it in the first place that I cannot fix. Can we scroll down a little bit more real quick?
Oh, sure.
I could always be looking at my home. The art is freaking amazing, by the way.
Art.
And that needs to be called out throughout the entire book. The art is just some of the most wonderful stuff. And there's some really funny callbacks to old D&D lore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you checked out some things, but there is a piece of art for, I think, the Order Domain Cleric. I laughed out loud like a crazy, like just a wild person. But yeah, so I still love it. Defensive shield is exactly what I want. Lightning launcher is fantastic. The range on that is amazing. I'm happy with all of it. Yeah, that's my answer. It got long. I have a long answer. I have strong feelings. I'm very happy with the armor as it is.
Listen, I'm glad you have strong feelings. This actually ties very nicely into one of the last questions I've got from chat before we go back to some other stuff, because you mentioned Silver and Steel. And Jenny Deffen asks, will either of you be revising your Silver and Steel characters with Tasha's material to swap out skills, spells, etc.? I will say personally, kind of, because Orkira has been using a Unearthed Arcana feat that is now in Tasha's for real. I don't know what you call it when it gets upgraded, when it's no longer Unearthed Arcana but becomes the real thing. So she has a skill expert.
Yep, which actually both of us have. This is why Avron's so good at persuasion. I took this so that I would have expertise essentially in one particular skill.
Yeah, the UA version of it is called something slightly different, but it is essentially the same exact thing. So the answer, at least for me, am I revising or updating? No, I'm just going to grab the full-on version of Skill Expert. For those that don't know, it lets you increase one ability score by one, and it lets you choose. You get proficiency with one skill, and then you can take a skill that you already have proficiency and get expertise.
Mm,
So this is how Orkira has expertise with perception, because it kind of made sense for her. And it is also how she now has proficiency with acrobatics, which is one of those choices that you make that isn't going to make you super, her bonus is +4.
yeah.
It, it's not like she's amazing. It's not like she is suddenly going to go out to the circus and become this acrobat, but I figured it was a fun thing to pick because she has now spent the vast majority of her life as this flying creature. So why not have a little bit of a bonus there? I don't think I'm going to be changing anything else. I'm tempted. All my characters going forward are probably going to be using the origin feature in order
Yeah.
to change out my stats, because I really like that. I really like being able to customize that. I probably won't do that with Orkira, mostly because I've now been playing her for so long with her original player's handbook stats that it would feel a little weird to do that. But
And
if I hadn't been,
I'm in an opposite scenario where Avon, who I've been playing since I was 8, has changed so many times, and now because everyone always asks me like, is Avon an elf, a half elf, an elf, or a human? Avon was never really quite any of those things. He got shifted by magic, and there was never really a good way for me to express that in D&D. So Avon is supposed to have pointed ears, but not because of really an elven background. The origins feature now lets me kind of thoroughly explore why he is the way he is. I do have to probably make some significant adjustments to Avon because he does not function now very well as an undead warlock, because undead warlocks are pretty kind of melee focused in the initial design, I would say, very much towards a death knight. And the one thing that didn't make it from UA was Eldritch Armor, which was a part of the Pact of the Blade. It was an invocation you could take that allowed you to wear any type of armor you want to. Well, looks like Avon's not wearing anything above medium now. So, and he's not so tanky as he once was. So there may be some minor adjustments or major adjustments coming to Avon, at least in terms of that kind of thing. He may be relying a little bit more on his Eldritch Blast than, say, Eldritch Smite. But there are great rules in Tashas for that now. Like if you when you level up or you have something dramatic like Tashas comes out,
yeah,
you can change your Pact of the Blade or your Pact of the the chain and stuff like that. There's good narrative reasons for it. Or if you're just a shiftable person like Avon, it's not really shocking that his focus has changed. I also lost life transference, which doesn't make sense for a warlock because you have to upcast. And that means you could effectively possibly destroy yourself in the effort to give someone else health. I was not shocked that spell was removed from the UA list of spells that warlocks get, because the moment I cast it on freely, I was like, oh, this could end very badly. So
if I roll really well, I could kill myself. Yeah,
I could save a friend, but I could just like magic myself out of existence very quickly.
yeah.
So
Well,
let's.
and this is also one of those options. I know we talked a little bit about this last week. This is one of those moments in where D&D Beyond is going to give you options, because for those of us who have characters with either a little or a lot of unearthed arcana on our character sheets, it's still there. Like we were just talking, like technically, unless you've removed it already, Todd, Avon is still completely workable as is. So if you and your DM and your players all got together and said, you know what, for the moment, we're going to stick with the UA version of this because that's what we're used to, or that's how I built it, or that's what feels good, and you all are happy with that, you just leave it there and you just keep playing with it, and it's absolutely fine. Or you switch it out for something and you make those changes, and now, as Todd says, there are not only a whole bevy of ideas about how to make small to large changes in your character that still work within a campaign. But Tasha's actually talks about that in the book as one of the options. But
Mhm.
we're trying to focus here on characters.
Yes.
So
So let's get back to it. Thank you for asking about our characters. We
yes,
care about them a lot.
we talk about them way too much.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. As you do.
Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is available now on D&D Beyond. Purchase before January 5th to unlock the Cauldron dice set, as well as character sheet backdrops, themes and frames.